Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we head to Sonoma, not the Coca-Cola 600. I am stupid. Very, very stupid. I accidentally deleted the recording of our Coca-Cola 600 that we recorded, and I can tell you that we did not have a good finish, and you can see that displayed in the points. We're now 29 points out of the playoffs. So what happened was I finished in 35th, so I ran between about 15th and 20th for the majority of the race, but I actually pitted too early, got trapped a lap down because of a late race yellow, and that unfortunately put me back in 35th. So very unfortunate. We were running a special paint scheme that Sanok made, which you can see in the background, but I'm going to run it today for this episode as well, since, well, you didn't get to see it in the last episode because I deleted the recording. I felt so stupid. It's actually not the first time I've accidentally deleted a video, but nonetheless, we were ready to move on into a road course coming off of some rough finishes, and now we find ourselves below the playoff cut line here, but we're coming into one of my wheelhouses of Sonoma Raceway. Very excited for this one, and hopefully we can have a competitive run here today. Last time we went to a road course at my home track in Canada, obviously, it didn't go very well, actually. We've had two road courses under our belt so far this season, with Mid-Ohio, where we ran good and in the top 10, then we went to Canada and we ran pretty rough, and then obviously had a terrible finish to back it up. So we come into our third road course race of this season here, hoping to turn things around, and Sonoma's always been a good track to me, so hopefully we can come through and put up a good qualifying lap, and we put up a solid qualifying lap here with a 1:34.377. That puts us P14 for the Toyota Save Mart 350, so things already looking a little bit more upbeat here compared to the vibe of the last couple of videos, which, like I said, obviously things just haven't been going our way here. As you can see, the rest of the qualifying order, Chase Elliott, no surprise here, on pole at a road course with Joey Logano joining him on the front row. Our RCR teammates all qualifying ahead of us as usual, except actually, sorry, Austin Dillon was down in 33rd place, but our teammate of Tyler Reddick did out-qualify us as well. As you can see, Daniel Suarez going to the back there after an engine change after qualifying, and Timmy Hill crashed during qualifying, so he'll be joining Daniel Suarez at the back of the grid here as we are ready to get this Sonoma Raceway race underway here. Now for our third road course on the schedule. We've still got a handful of road courses to go through yet before this season comes to a close, and this is a prime opportunity as we are now underway from Sonoma to get ourselves back into this playoff picture here. We come into this race over 30 points below the cut line. We're going to need to get stage points. We're going to need to be in the top 10 here today, even hopefully a top 5 if our car drives good enough, and based off qualifying, it felt pretty good, and usually you guys know the trend. We usually have a better race pace than we do a qualifying pace, so I was pretty confident if the car was going to be okay, we would have a top 10 car at the minimum, but you can see already a mistake from myself right there. I lose the back end right there out of the right-hander. Fortunately, save it. We're all over the back of fellow Rookie of the Year contender here, the 14 of Chase Briscoe there. In front of the 18, though, Kyle Busch in that Sport Clips paint scheme we are here now. Still not used to seeing Kyle Busch with a Sport Clips paint scheme on that number 18 here as we come through this long swooping carousel. As you guys know, this is not the layout that NASCAR is actually using anymore in real life, so they used it for a few years, but they're going back to the old layout that they were using for however long it was beforehand. I personally love the move. I love going back to the format or the layout that we used to use, because it just felt better for the NASCAR stock cars here at Sonoma Raceway. It kind of really promoted just the more the NASCAR style of road racing, you could kind of say there. As you see me nearly run into the back of the 14 of Briscoe here, side by side with Denny Hamlin, but we're going to clear him, move up into 14th. You can certainly tell that I was dealing with a bit of a loose handling race car here, but we come to the conclusion of this first lap and we run in P14, and we were quite a ways behind Chase Briscoe because we lose a lot of time in that final hairpin, but we would close up very quick because he was in a scrap here with Christopher Bell, as well as Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones there up in the mix, Ross Chastain. So through the exit of this carousel, here I am with an opportunity right now to get to the back of Bell. We're going to give him a big shove right there as we're going to try and boost him forward and just follow him, but I see the opportunity, I take it. We're going to go 3 wide up the inside here into this heavy braking zone into the double right-hander, and sure enough, we're going to go from P14 now up to P12 here with approaching 2 laps to go already in stage 1. Running down now Ryan Blaney in that number 12 Penske Ford Mustang. Chase Elliott, you can see on the track map there, he's pretty much run away. There's really no running down Chase Elliott here in stage 1. He's got a very fast car in that Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet here. So we're closing in though on the back of Blaney. We come to this final lap here of the stage, and I was really pushing the limits of this car with what I was comfortable with in stage 1. I certainly knew there was more in the car still available, which made me even more confident with the way this thing was driving here. Now as we exit that carousel all over the back of that number 12 Dex Imaging Ford Mustang here, it doesn't look like we're going to get stage points. Jones holds on to that final stage point currently here. Into the braking zone though. Blaney, he's going to leave the door open here into the next right-hander. We're going to take the opportunity, a little bit of contact there with Blaney on the exit of the corner. We kind of used them up, but we move up into P11, and that was as far as we were going to get. You can see Eric Jones, he was just a little bit too far down the road. I was trying to hit the S's to the best of my abilities here and be able to get a little bit close, maybe in striking distance of going for a bit of a bump and run kind of down into this final hairpin, but you can see still about 7 car lengths or so in between myself and that 43, so I knew it just wasn't going to happen. I certainly sent it here into this final hairpin. We got within about a car length, but just not close enough here. So it's not going to be quite stage points here in stage 1, but we definitely have a top 10 car. Should be able to get stage points in stage 2 and moving forward, maybe even towards the top 5 as we cross the line for P11 in this first and opening stage from Sonoma Raceway. Eric Jones, Michael McDowell, 2 notables getting some stage points, but Chase Elliott dominates stage 1. He was long gone, checked out from the grid. Alex Spellman and Kyle Larson, his 2 Hendrick teammates, joining him in the top 10, and then William Byron having a bit of a rough run so far to this race here, as we would not pit, nobody would pit here, so we were P11 once again for the restart as we're going to get back on the way from Sonoma. It is time to get amped. Let's turn up the volume. There you have the amp segment, and what a first and opening lap it was to stage 2. We went from 11th position to P6 here behind Kyle Larson now in his return season, of course, to the NASCAR Cup Series, still looking for his first win with HMS here now. At this time in real life, he would have been coming up on his 3rd win of the season here in 2021 now. As we pass Larson, we pass Logano, into the top 5 we go. I said we have confidence, we got a good car, we have a potential top 5 car. We are proving that here today in Sonoma, but unfortunately, here with 2 laps to go, I actually would make a mistake right there. Get up on 2 wheels sideways. We save up, then we overcorrect, and right into the side of the 22 of Logano we go. We do some damage there to the left side of the car. You can certainly see it visually on the hood. We stay ahead of Larson, but down to 5th place we go, and now just settling back in. And by the time we came to the final lap of this stage, now into the carousel for the final time, we were actually on the back again of that Auto Trader Ford here. So we had an opportunity to go past Logano for that 4th spot, and I knew I was going to need to make some repairs to this car because you can obviously see some very, blatant damage to the car. So I made sure, I said, we got to gain as many spots as we can here. So we get past that 22 of Logano, move back up into 4th. Chase Elliott again cruising to a stage victory here as we're going to come through this final turn. Kyle Larson actually passes Logano into the hairpin there, so he moves up into 5th place, and we're going to have, I think, potentially our best stage effort of the season. P4, 7 points. That is going to be big. Doesn't sound like a lot, 7 points, but that is going to be huge when we get to the end of this regular season if it comes down to points for us. costs here, but obviously the goal is to not worry about points and actually go win a race, and maybe do that here in this very race today at Sonoma Raceway. Look at our teammate Tyler Reddick, by the way, running in second place. So Austin Dillon's been struggling, but myself and Tyler Reddick, we are having very, very strong races here in Sonoma Raceway out here in California now, as we're going to get ready to go green for this final stage. Unfortunately, with the repairs we made, we only lose one position. So getting ready to go green for this final stage is going to be a 10-lap sprint to the end of this race here from Sonoma Raceway now, as we are on row number 3. Larson just in front of us, as well as Chris Buescher having a nice superb run there in that 17 machine. You can see myself a little bit cautious there into the first braking zone, but now we're once again alongside the 2003 or 2004 Cup Series champion, I think it was, of Kurt Busch here now, as we're all over the back of that 17 of Buescher. Can we send one up the inside here? We have the opportunity, and he leaves the door open, so we take it. I know that, you know what, 10 laps is still not a lot of time here in Sonoma Raceway. Obviously, it's going to be probably a close to 17-18 minute run here now, as we're going to lunge up the inside of Kyle Larson now, and look at that, a big pass right there. And speaking of big passes, Tyler Reddick, who's passed Chase Elliott to take the lead in this final stage. It's been all Chase Elliott all day long. He's dominated stage 1 and 2, but Reddick has done a very important thing, and that's, well, past the 9 car to take the lead of this race here. Now, Reddick currently in the playoff bubble area, kind of like I am as well, and Austin Dillon's really the only RCR car currently comfortable inside the playoffs, really depending on how many different winners, of course, that we get this season. But Tyler Reddick now trying to add himself to the different winner list. Elliott's already got a win this season. Obviously, we haven't won either here, but if Reddick can win today, he'll be locked in the playoffs, and it might make it a little bit more difficult for myself and Austin Dillon, because the way this season is shaping up, we still got quite a bit of racing remaining here on the schedule, so we could be in a little bit of trouble when it comes to the whole different amount of winners, because if we hit 16 different winners, our only option at that point is to get in the playoffs, is to win a race. So it's going to be a difficult regular season here, and it has been difficult so far, and it looks like it could get more difficult with the season continuing on the way it is now. But you can see, unfortunately here, with less than 10 laps to go, the laps are winding down, but I am not gaining time. Elliott is sticking with Reddick. He's all over his bumper, but he hasn't had the opportunity to actually pass at number 8 of Tyler Reddick. Just not quite good enough of a car in this final stage, it appears, for Chase Elliott. Maybe the wrong way with the adjustments on the pit lane there. That was our first and likely only pit stop of the day that we just had at the end of stage 2. But unfortunately, I just had nothing for those two at this point here. Lap 19 coming up on 5 laps to go this time by, and we were staying comfortably ahead of the 17 of Chris Buescher. He would close up to me in that final hairpin, but that was it. We would be able to pull away for the rest of the lap, then he would close back up, and then we'd pull back away. It just kind of kept going back and forth, and that gap, though, to the front two runners of Elliott and Reddick, unfortunately, just kept growing and growing and growing. Unlikely, of course, to see a caution here with relaxed cautions on, so I just kind of accepted the fact that it was looking like we were going to be fighting for a third place against Chris Buescher and potentially Kyle Larson as well here now, with these final handful of laps underway here. But now with 5 or 4 laps to go already in this race here, you can see exactly that. I just kind of settled it in. I just kind of backed down the pace a little bit because I wasn't pushing too hard. I knew I couldn't get to Elliott or Reddick, but I knew we were going to have a good points day on our hands here with P3 here. Now as I head down into the carousel, and well, there goes a good day. Potentially we're going to go off the track here. Thank goodness we don't hit anything, so we're going to rejoin without any issues. But as that happens, actually, we get a saving moment because a caution comes out. It appears it's going to be for Kurt Busch. I couldn't get a replay of the caution, unfortunately, but I would assume it's Kurt Busch. I just brought out the caution, and it came out at the perfect time because it just kept me in front of that 17 of Chris Buescher by maybe a couple of centimeters at the absolute most here. So all of a sudden, we're going to have an overtime restart here from Sonoma Raceway from row number 2 with an opportunity to pounce on the 8 and the 9 of Reddick and Elliott here. We know we don't have a car that is as fast as them, but if we can stick with them on this restart, maybe rough them up, get a little bit physical, who knows what can happen. All of a sudden, we have an opportunity here to win our first ever cup race. We haven't had a chance to race for the win all season long, but here it is now. You saw me give the bump to Reddick, trying to at least say, if I can't win myself, I want Reddick to win over Chase Elliott, obviously, to put our teammate in victory lane and in the playoffs. So that's why I gave Reddick that bump there. Unfortunately, it really gives him a boost here, but we get a little bit aggressive there with the 9 of Elliott, and we get in front of him. And here we go. So Elliott's going to try and lunge one up the inside here, potentially into the braking zone. Yes, he will contact with the Napa Auto Parts driver and 2020 Cup Series champion at this point, the storyline, the defending Cup Series champion, that is. And he lost a lot of ground right there, and I certainly chopped his nose, but I looked at it this way. Elliott's already won. I myself am looking to get my first win. I'm going to do whatever it takes to go get that first win here today at Sonoma Raceway. Now, as it is game on, Tyler Reddick, myself, we saw all throughout stage 3, both Reddick, both Elliott, they were way faster than us. We had nothing for them. But when you give me the eyes on the prize, only a few car lengths in front of me, we're going to find that extra pace in this race car here. And sure enough, we are sticking with Reddick. He's certainly faster. You can tell he's faster because he's able to pull away still a little bit here. But I knew my only opportunity right here to remain with that number 8 of Tyler Reddick on this final lap is when we go into this final hairpin right here, I'm going to have to really send it in deep and get to the back bumper and unsettle his race car. This final hairpin is really going to set the tone for opportunities here on this final lap, so I do exactly that. I lunge down into the final hairpin right into the back of the 8. We send him sideways there. He saves it, thank goodness, but fortunately, we don't let Reddick get away here. So coming to this final lap here from Sonoma Raceway, Chase Elliott back in the background there in third place, quite a ways behind, but still, I wouldn't count him out, especially if it gets pretty scrappy between myself and Tyler Reddick. But right now, still, once again, not close enough to make a move. We are closer to Reddick than I guess what we were here this time last lap, but not by much, maybe by only about a car length or so. And look in the rear view mirror, Elliott is closing quick, showing the true pace in that 9 car. Honestly, Elliott, we know, has the fastest car here today, and look at him, he's already within a couple of car lengths of myself, but I know it's going to be difficult for him to have an opportunity to pass me unless we, of course, run way wide there. And you can see, look at the run we have into the carousel, right to the back bumper of Tyler Reddick, into the back bumper of Reddick. Not quite enough here. It's going to be all about the exit right here. And do we get the exit that we need? It's good, but it's not good enough here now. Reddick stays comfortably ahead by about 2 to 3 car lengths here into the heavy braking zone. We actually extended the gap to Elliott that time, right to the back of Reddick. We're going to give him another shot to the bumper, but unfortunately not an opportunity to slip up his inside. But there goes Reddick. You saw smoke pouring out of the car there as we go wide. What a scrap here on this final lap we are having. Suddenly, with that number 8 of Reddick, it's going to be our CR in victory lane today from the looks of it, but which one is it going to be? It looks like it's going to be Reddick after that mistake right there as we went down into the S's now, as we're within about 5 car lengths, but it's not close enough. They're running wide one more time here as we go down into the final braking zone. Elliott is close, but not close enough. We're going to get to the back, into the back of Reddick, but this time just not enough to unsettle that race car. Now here comes Elliott with the side-by-side run. Tyler Reddick will win in Sonoma. We're going to hold off the 9 of Chase Elliott for a career best second place finish here from Sonoma Raceway. Unfortunately, just not quite enough to pull off the victory, which is of course disappointing, but at the same time, we just had our best run of our Cup Series career. We got stage points, we got a big point day in general, which is only going to help us here in the playoff picture. Would have loved to, of course, win that race and not have to worry about the playoff picture anymore, but obviously, if we had to lose that one, I would like to lose it to a teammate, and that's what happened there as Tyler Reddick wins the race. But you can see, it wasn't as big of a point day as I was hoping it would be. We're still 27 points below the cut line. So even after having a career day, it still isn't enough here, and we're definitely going to have to get to work going into Gateway in the next episode where they race it in real life this past weekend in the Cup Series, so that'll be a fun one. If you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. The race is on here. Already 10 races left in the regular season, and it, like I said, is game on from this point on here. Now we are going to have to be on it and put up good performances. Let's hope we can continue that in Gateway after a good day in Sonoma. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.